Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're taking a deep dive into a market that might surprise you in its global reach and complexity. The world of ginger oil.
That's right. We've got this pretty comprehensive market report here.
And our mission really is to go beyond just the raw numbers. We want to, extract the core insights.
Understand the forces at play.
Yeah, and give you a clear picture of this whole industry.
So maybe start with the basics. What exactly is ginger oil? Why is there even a market for it?
Good point. So, at its heart, it's an essential oil. It's extracted from the ginger rhizome, that root-like stem bit.
Right, the part you cook with.
Exactly. And people have valued ginger for, well, centuries. But the oil, it concentrates that unique scent and its potent qualities.
And those qualities are popping up everywhere now.
Totally. We're talking wellness products, definitely. Food and beverages, cosmetics, even pharmaceuticals are using it.
So this report really covers the whole life cycle, doesn't it, across all those different uses?
It does. Okay, let's get into the big picture numbers in the report then. Give us a sense of scale.
All right. It estimates the global ginger oil market was valued at 26.58 billion US dollars back in 2025.
Wow. Okay, 26.58 billion? That's substantial.
It is, and the trajectory looks, well, pretty promising. The projection takes it up to $43.66 billion by 2033.
43 billion. That's a significant jump over that, what, 8-year period?
Yeah, the report calculates a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 6.40% between 2025 and 2033.
6.4%. Okay, so not like astronomical growth, but certainly solid, steady expansion.
Exactly. Steady is a good word for it. And the report uses 2024 as its base year, looking forward through 2033.
Right. So what's actually driving this steady growth? What are the tailwinds here?
Well, one of the major forces, according to the report, is this huge surge in demand for aromatherapy.
Ah, okay. Tied into the whole wellness movement.
Directly, people are actively looking for natural, kind of high-quality products for, mental and physical well-being. Ginger oil fits right in.
Yeah, I can see that. And you mentioned cosmetics, too.
Absolutely. It's being integrated into cosmetics, skincare. It's part of this broader shift in fragrance and personal care. People want products that feel like they have health or self-care benefits.
Makes sense.
The report even highlights significant import activity in Europe, places like the UK, Germany, Netherlands, France. They're importing a lot of ginger extracts, especially oleoresins.
Oleoresins, those are the thicker ones, right? Compared to the essential oil.
Yeah, more resinous. Used a lot for natural flavors and colors over there. Shows strong demand.
Okay, so aromatherapy is one. What else?
Another key driver is product innovation. It's not just about pure ginger oil anymore.
Like blends and things.
Exactly. Manufacturers are creating new lines, blending ginger with other flavors. Think lemon, orange, cinnamon.
Right, so that opens up new avenues.
For sure. Especially in food and beverage, like bakeries or specialized drinks. It moves beyond just the traditional uses.
And underpinning all this, I guess, is just growing awareness of the health benefits people associate with these oils.
Yes, the report really emphasizes that. This awareness leads people to actively want natural products.
Right.
It lists some potential benefits often linked to ginger oil, things like helping with digestive issues, maybe muscular pain. It even mentions potential roles in reducing certain health risks, citing some studies.
Okay, so the perception of health benefits is a big driver.
Definitely. It fuels demand in natural medicine, holistic therapies, and, again, aromatherapy.
There's also a practical side too, isn't there? The ease of using oil extracts compared to, say, fresh ginger?
Yes, that's a huge factor for manufacturers. Raw ginger is seasonal, it's perishable.
Right. Tricky to work with consistently.
But the essential oils, the oleoresins, they offer consistency, a much longer shelf life, and flexibility. You can use them year-round.
Which makes supply chains smoother, easier to integrate into products on a large scale.
Exactly. Extends the season, essentially.
Okay, so those are the drivers. What about the speed bumps? What's holding the market back or slowing it down?
The report points mainly to the high costs of production. That's a primary restraint.
Extracting this stuff isn't simple, is it?
No. Methods like steam distillation or the more advanced CO2 extraction, they're intricate, need special gear, use a lot of energy, and take time.
Right. And then there's growing the ginger itself.
Adds another layer. Needs a warm climate, often manual labor is involved.
Plus buying and transporting the raw ginger root, which is also seasonal and perishable.
Exactly. All these factors add up to a higher cost for the natural oil.
And that leads to the other restraint.
Yes, the increasing availability of cheaper synthetic alternatives.
Ah, the synthetics.
While many consumers want natural, That price difference can be a real barrier in some applications or for more price-sensitive buyers.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift perspective now. Look at the global map. Where is ginger oil hottest right now, market-wise?
So the report gives a regional breakdown for 2025. North America is the big one, holding the largest share, over 37% of global revenue.
Over a third. Wow. Who's
Yeah.
next?
Europe is second, with over 29%. Then Asia Pacific, around 24%.
Right.
South America, the Middle East, Africa, they make up the remaining smaller shares, like under 5% each, roughly.
So North America is clearly dominant currently. Why is it so big there?
It really comes back to those drivers we talked about. That strong wellness trend, aromatherapy's popularity,
Yeah.
huge factors there.
Right.
Also, North American food and beverage companies are really leaning into ginger oil as a natural flavor, meets that consumer demand for clean label plant-based stuff.
Uh-huh.
And don't forget pharmaceuticals using it for those perceived antibacterial, anti-inflammatory qualities. It all adds up.
Okay, that explains the current picture. Now, looking ahead, where's the fastest growth expected?
That would be Asia Pacific.
Okay.
It has the highest projected CAGR, 9.2% between 2025 and 2033.
9.2%. That's quite a bit higher than the global average of 6.4%. What's fueling that acceleration in APAC?
A few things converge there. First, Asia is a massive ginger producer, China, India, Indonesia, so there's a strong local supply of the raw material.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Less transport cost, maybe.
Possibly. Plus, there's a deep cultural history of using ginger in food and traditional herbal medicines. That provides a solid base.
Right, it's already embedded in the culture.
Exactly. But the report also notes its increasing popularity now in aromatherapy and personal care across the region, too. That's newer, driven by rising incomes and changing consumer tastes.
Interesting. The report gets even more granular, right? Down to specific countries?
It does, and you see some fascinating variations, like the U.S. market in 2025, over $7.7 billion, driven by that natural organic trend.
Okay.
But then look at India, projected for AGR of 11.1%, even higher, linked to its huge ginger production and use in things like Ayurvedic medicine.
Oh, wow, 11.1%.
Yeah. And you see other examples. Germany, strong tradition of herbal remedies, solid growth. Brazil, noted for expanding production.
What about the Middle East and Africa? They were smaller shares overall.
Still growing, though. Saudi Arabia, Turkey seeing growth from urbanization, diverse food demands, health consciousness. Qatar, too.
And Africa.
Nigeria, a big ginger producer, has export potential. South Africa's food sector is growing, focus on natural products there, too. So activity everywhere, just at different paces.
Truly a global market, then, with distinct regional flavors, you could say.
Yeah, you could.
Let's dig even deeper now. How does the market break down? Let's start with the nature outlook. Organic versus conventional.
Okay. The report says conventional ginger oil holds the lion's share of the market right now.
Why is that? Just more established?
Pretty much established farming, established extraction methods. It generally means lower production costs, wider availability, more consistent supply chains. It's just easier and cheaper for most big industrial buyers.
I'm guessing organic is where the faster growth is.
Absolutely. That's the clear trend. It mirrors that wider consumer shift towards natural, sustainable, chemical-free products.
Driven by health and environment concerns.
Largely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially strong demand in North America and Europe for products without artificial chemicals, pesticides, GMOs.
And the wellness sector would lean towards organic too, presumably,
Yeah,
seeking higher purity.
exactly. As wellness and aromatherapy grow, so does the demand for that perceived higher quality and purity in organic oils.
Okay, how about how it's sold? The sales channel outlook. Direct versus indirect.
So direct sales, that's basically B2B, business to business, holds the dominant market share currently.
Because the main buyers are big companies.
Precisely. Food manufacturers, pharma companies, cosmetic giants, they buy in bulk. Direct connections, established supply chains, it's just more efficient for those large quantities.
Makes sense. And the indirect sales, B2C or business to consumer, that's growing fast.
Very rapidly, yes. A huge catalyst here is e-commerce.
Online shopping.
Yeah, online platforms give individual consumers access to a huge selection, competitive prices, delivered right to their door. It makes ginger oil for personal use way more accessible than it used to be.
Plus that growing awareness we mentioned, people wanting it for aromatherapy or skincare at home.
Yeah. Exactly. That fuels the B2C side, along with growth in actual physical stores too, like specialty health shops or organic outlets.
All right, end-use application. Where is most of this ginger oil actually going?
The food and beverages segment is the largest by a significant margin.
No surprise there, I guess. Ginger is such a staple flavor.
It is. Its versatility as a natural flavoring is massive. Snacks, sauces, soups, all kinds of drinks.
Plus, the demand for natural, clean label ingredients we keep mentioning.
Right. And also those perceived health qualities, anti-inflammatory, digestive aid, that makes it popular in functional foods and health drinks too.
The report breaks that segment down further, doesn't it?
Yeah, includes things like bakery and confectionery, beverages, dressings and condiments, sauces, spreads and soups. Pretty much anything edible.
Okay, so food and bev is biggest. Which application is growing fastest?
That would be cosmetics and personal care.
Ah, back to the wellness and natural beauty trend.
Exactly. The report notes its popularity comes from those perceived anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibacterial properties.
So you're seeing it in
Yeah.
creams, shampoos?
Yeah, anti-aging creams, serums, shampoos, body lotions. Manufacturers are highlighting benefits like better skin elasticity, less inflammation, improved hair health.
Driven again by people wanting natural ingredients, avoiding synthetics.
Strongly. This segment covers aromatherapy, fragrance, hair care, skin care, and other personal items.
And the report also mentions pharmaceuticals and household uses.
Yes, pharma utilizes its potential medicinal properties,
Mhm.
and household includes things like maybe natural cleaning products or just retail bottles for general home use.
Got it. One more breakdown. The processing technology, how do they actually get the oil out?
Several methods mentioned, but steam distillation currently holds the largest market share.
Traditional method.
Pretty much the most widely used and established, yeah. It's relatively affordable compared to some others. It's effective at getting the volatile compounds out, and it's scalable for big production runs. Yields a decent amount of essential oil.
Again, there's a faster growing segment here too.
There is carbon dioxide extraction, or CO2 extraction. That's the one accelerating.
That sounds more high tech.
It is. It's a more advanced approach using supercritical CO2 as a solvent. The big advantage is it extracts the bioactive compounds very precisely without using heat or harsh chemical solvents.
So potentially a purer product. Preserves more of the good stuff.
That's the idea. It's prized for preserving a higher concentration of those potential medicinal components. So you see it favored in high-end applications, wellness, pharma, premium cosmetics.
And driven by that demand for clean label, chemical-free.
Absolutely. That preference really encourages its adoption. The report also mentions solvent extraction and cold pressed, but they're less dominant or growing slower.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. What about the companies involved? The competitive landscape?
The report calls it highly competitive. Makes sense. You've got big global players and smaller regional companies all in the mix.
Given the global nature of ginger and the end-use industries, yeah, competition sounds right. Any familiar names?
Some you might recognize if you follow ingredients or flavors. Sentient Flavors, Firmenich, doTERRA, Mankencor, also names like Katiani Exports, Alchem International, a whole range.
And are these companies making moves? The report mentions strategies.
Yeah, it gives a couple of examples. Like Sensient acquired a company called Flavor Solutions back in 2022 to broaden its flavor portfolio.
Okay.
And Mankencor opened a new innovation center, also in 2022, focused specifically on natural solutions and nutraceuticals.
So active investment R&D companies are definitely working to get an edge.
For sure. Shows they're focused on growth innovation in this space.
Now, the report also digs into broader qualitative factors, right? It even mentions something about tariffs.
It did. It includes analysis on how things like policy shifts. For instance, the report specifically analyzes the potential impact of what it terms Trump's tariff war, how those things might affect the market.
How so? Like supply chains, pricing.
Exactly. It looks at potential long-term impacts of tariffs, changes in trade dynamics, geopolitical factors, tax reforms, even shifts in consumer behavior related to all that.
But it's presenting this neutrally, just as market analysis.
Strictly. It's analyzing potential market effects, outlining possible consequences from a research perspective. It's not endorsing any political viewpoint, just reporting on potential market factors covered in their source analysis.
Right. Standard practice for market research focus on the economic and market outcome.
Yeah, and it uses standard frameworks, too. Things like pestle analysis, political, economic, social, tech, environmental, legal factors.
Quarters 5 forces.
That, too, looking at competition. And even ESG analysis, environmental, social, governance factors. It's about getting that holistic view beyond just the sales numbers.
Okay, so when the analysts pull all this together, what's the main takeaway? The conclusion?
They really reiterate that expected steady growth, the 6.40% CAGR through 2033. They confirm the current dominance of the traditional ways, steam distillation for processing,
Food and beverages for application.
and conventional for the nature type. Those are still the biggest slices of the pie right now.
But it's clear from everything we've discussed, there are these really significant pockets of rapid growth alongside them.
Definitely. Driven by changing consumer demands and new technologies, it's a layered picture.
It really is. An industry rooted in something ancient, like ginger root, but being shaped constantly by very modern trends in wellness, natural ingredients, and technology.
Absolutely. It's quite fascinating when you dig into it.
So here's something for you, the listener, that maybe mull over. We heard the report highlights that rapid growth in the organic segment and also in that advanced CO2 extraction technology. So how might that increasing consumer demand for products perceived as natural, pure, and sustainably produced? How might that eventually start to challenge the dominance of the established conventional products and the traditional extraction methods in the years to come?
It's a really interesting question, isn't it? Where is the future of this market truly heading?